Hey everyone, welcome back to the Castaway Consultants, where we teach future Survivor players how to play the game by criticizing current players who we have no business criticizing because they're returning players. Guys, it's season 50, and I am one of your hosts, Ryan Stacy, joined by two other legends in their own rights, Josh Wessler and Derek Kubicek. Guys, season 50, it's here. It's in the hands of the fans. This podcast is not in the hands of the fans, though. It's just in our hands. But how are you guys doing?
I'm doing actually no, I was gonna say I'm doing great, which I am doing great, but I am tired. I'm exhausted. That was a long premiere and I've been so excited all day. I woke up ready to go. I made myself coffee in the morning, but I didn't even need it because it was Survivor premiere day and I was so excited. And I feel like that just drained me the entire day because I've just been jacked. I've been jacked the entire day for this premiere. And it was great. It was great. I had so much fun tonight. I can't wait to talk about it.
I really enjoyed what we got tonight. For those of you who don't know, I have a 3 hour rule. And Ryan and I, we actually share this rule specifically when it comes to movies. Anything that is 3 hours or longer needs to be a 10 out of 10 or it's rude. I am sorry to report that this is a little rude tonight, but I still had a great time. It just was not a 10 out of 10. I'm a man of principles. And so by default, 3 hours of Survivor in one night by no choice of us, the viewers, is a bit rude to me. But I love what we got, especially getting to talk to everyone on day one. I really liked that.
Yep, we got to spend a lot of time with everyone. This ended up being a double boot, so that's why it was 3 hours. So that makes sense now, knowing it in hindsight. I'm like, okay, now everything makes a little more sense. No, I enjoyed the episode a lot. You guys really should have done what I did. I took tomorrow off work, so I
So
don't
the
I don't know what you guys were thinking at all.
the big difference, Ryan, is that Derek and I do not edit the podcast.
True, but like we're it's already 10:30 as we're starting this thing. We
Yeah.
had a 3 hour episode. We still have the podcast about it, and then you guys got to go to work tomorrow. I don't, so get wrecked.
Look, Ryan, you definitely did this. You did this the right way, but I'm going to be doing my best Rick Devens impersonation and just dealing with it, pulling it all night. I'm letting the game energize me, and that's what we're going to do.
Friend of the podcast, Rick Devens.
Friend of the podcast, Rick Devens.
Yeah,
There you go.
okay.
It only took us like 3 minutes to mention it.
Only took us a few seconds to name drop him. But I gotta say, coming into the season, and now we recently got to interview Rick Devens before the season started. I'm very much pulling for him.
Oh, no, 100%.
Like I already was, but now it's like even more. So it's like God, I want Devens to win.
He's so great.
But anyway, this episode was awesome. It had highs, it had lows. It was funny. It was sad. There's a lot going on here. If you haven't watched the episode yet, I don't know what you're doing. Go watch it. Spoiler alert. Three, two,
Two,
one.
one.
Guys,
And perhaps the funniest result.
Jenna Lewis, our returner from season one, is the first one out, which is really funny. Like I feel bad for her, but it's really funny.
One interesting thing I think we should do whenever this happens, we need to go back to our season 50 cast assessment and see what did we say? Because I feel like we said Jenna Lewis, she could go far, but she could go out early if she gets caught big game hunting like she did on All Stars. Well,
Whoops.
I don't know if anyone listening to the podcast is a fan of Craven the Hunter, but in that movie, they are hunting a lion that is called the Legend. She went hunting Suri.
Yeah, if you're gonna come for the queen, you best not miss.
Oh boy.
If you go hunting Suri, you know what they say: dig two graves,
Yeah, one for you and
one for whoever helped you.
yeah, one for your accomplice. Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, going for Suri, like I get it. However,
Jenna, everything you said was correct, but you should have said it less loudly and to fewer people, and maybe after the challenge.
so we could say a lot of things about Jenna Lewis, but for an the oldest school player coming in, her problem was not that she wasn't able to adapt from the old school. It might have been quite the opposite. The second note in our second smaller episode, we're also going to lose Survivor 48 winner Kyle Frazier due to an injury, and that sucks to see. Very sad. I did not want that to happen at all. You don't want that to happen to anybody. But yeah, it really sucks to see Kyle taken down here. Now, I do think this is going to help out Camilla and Joe immensely. I think they're going to be in a much better position with Kyle gone from the game.
Camilla especially.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll have much impact on Joe. It felt like he was actually trying to separate himself from them already before any of this happens. Which, good on him to do that. But yeah, it frees up Camilla a little bit, and which I also think we covered in our cast assessment is like we didn't, say injury or anything, but we're like, all right, if one of Kyle or Camilla go home early, that frees them up for the rest of the game. Otherwise, good luck to them.
Yep. This trio needed to be turned into a duo, lickety split, for the other two to have a chance, and it did.
Yeah, and I'll just chime in and quickly say, Kyle, man, that sucks. I don't know what it is with all of these Achilles injuries in the sports world now bleeding over into my Survivor world. I'm upset about it. I wish he could have played, and he was in a good spot. He was in a great spot.
So, Jeff, once again, I'm asking you to get rid of the mud in the opening challenges. Like, again, it didn't matter this time because we know who these people are. Get crap out of here. We don't need it. Like, getting burdened in the game. Who cares? It's dumb. And then, slippery substances on people while trying to climb up a wall is just a bad idea. So let's get rid of the mud.
And it is especially an interesting choice when you're dealing with a cast. Like, Kyle's not one of them, but a lot of them are much older. So it was just something that I took note of. It's Survivor. I think you need to be able to handle it. And so I'm, on the one hand, like, I get it. But also, if you're going to do a celebration of Survivor, maybe try and avoid them getting medevac kind of thing. And I'm not saying that they want it to happen, but
they sure are acting like they want it to happen.
But I agree with Ryan. Mud with a slippery wall. Maybe do the wall and then do the mud. Like, there were other ways to do this.
Just don't do mud.
Ryan said after the challenge, even before we knew what happened to Kyle, Kyle hadn't even been injured yet. Ryan's like, when I become host of Survivor, the first thing I'm doing is getting rid of all the mud.
Mud on day one is just so stupid. Set up the players for success, not failure in challenges. I like, what are we going to do next? Bring back Schmirgen Brawl? Let's do that. If we're going to, do we want these people to get hurt?
I mean, I like Schmirgen Brawl, but don't do it.
Yeah, it is every time it's been played, somebody has been eliminated from the game due to an injury from it.
Yeah, so don't play it, but
Anyway, Survivor 50. We're back. We're back, baby. Should we get into the episodes? We have a lot to talk about. Let's do this, huh? In the hands of the fans, and I gotta say, I think the fans have been drinking.
We need to talk about the fans' drinking problems.
Fans are at the wheel, and Jesus needs to take this wheel fast.
Y'all need Jesus.
So remember when we were going through and trying to coach our listeners about, like, you can vote however you want, but this is the Castaway Consultants, recommendation for how we're gonna vote for these options.
And to be honest, I feel like the listeners probably voted along our lines. However, we got to remember there's millions of filthy casuals out there who don't listen to like any podcast, or they don't do like deep dives, and that's fine. But they're gonna vote their way, and they probably want big flashy stuff.
Yeah, if you ever think that there's just kind of groupthink going on in the Survivor community, go on over to a Facebook Survivor group, and you'll just have your world changed. It is completely different over there. So that's that's how things like this happen.
Don't go on the Survivor Facebook groups. Don't go there. You must never go there, Simba.
Yeah, and let's recap really quickly because season 50 worth discussing. First of all was, do they get rice? We voted, I believe all of us, to give them rice because, it's fine. We want them to be good players here.
They'll have more energy that way to do crazy stuff.
And shocker, it seemed like all the players when they were reacting were like, please give us rice.
Yes. Number 2 was, should they start with camp supplies? This is one that we've been talking about since Survivor Fiji. Punitive challenges are really bad for equal competition. It doesn't actually make it more interesting. It makes it awful. So I'm a little more annoyed, but I guess I can live with this because it's a 26-day season, not a 39, but I'm still annoyed. The third one, dynamic advantages. I am disappointed that we didn't get the sort of middle road. I know that Jeff was so happy seeing those votes roll in, and that makes me sad.
Yeah, and if dynamic means block a vote, and that's as dynamic as it gets. I can live with that. If we're going to be getting some knowledge is power and some other just random stuff that's going on, all right, that's where I'm going to have some more problems.
Yeah, do or die.
We're not gonna do or die. Jeff has said that one's retired,
Well,
but
fine.
It's just Power's 100% gonna be in the game, and it's gonna take out Suri, and everyone's gonna be pissed. That's what's gonna happen.
Suri's going to be the first casualty of a successful knowledge's power play.
There'll be knowledge's power is going to be used to take away the Billie Eilish boomerang idol, and then everyone's going to be mad.
Yes.
That's a brand new sentence, and I am
But yeah, so those are the vote results we found out tonight. Disappoint. All across
ballot
the board.
box might be stuffed. We don't know.
Yeah, I think we're getting a little tinfoil hat there. I'm sure there's the gaming laws apply here as well. They apply in Fiji. So we're gonna do the opening challenge, and all that fun stuff. Let me read off the tribes here.
All right, so on the Sela tribe, we have
Orange.
We have Jenna Lewis Doherty, Christian Hubicki, Sari Fields, Emily Flippin, Joe Hunter, Ozzy Luth, Rick Devins, and Savannah Louie. On the Kalo tribe, we have
Which is green.
Or Kalo. We have Charlie Davis, Chrissy Hoffbeck, Coach Wade, Dee Valladares, Jonathan Young, Camilla Carthigasu, Mike White, and Tiffany Irvin. And then on the Vatu tribe, we have Kyle Frazier, Angelina Keeley, Aubrey Bracco, Colby Donaldson, Genevieve Mushalak, Q Burdett, Rizzo Velovich, and Stephanie LaGrossa Kendrick.
And that is purple?
Purple tribe, yes.
And Vatu is going to win rewards, so they get flint and a pre-made fire. One person from each tribe's got to go on a journey to compete for supplies. Coach is kind of volunteered for his tribe. He's like, yeah, sure, I guess.
And who is that who volunteered him?
Might have been Chrissy, but I'm not 100% sure. There's 24 people here. But yeah, so Coach is going to volunteer, but Ozzy's going to volunteer to go to bring back some of that South Pacific good-heartedness, a lot of good feelings amongst the castaways, to really bring back that camaraderie that everyone feels about South Pacific.
Just what a good-hearted, kumbaya season that South Pacific was. I mean, they really were a family on that season. It brings me to my knees whenever I think about it.
We're not going to recommend that you stand up to do this because you don't want to be away from your tribe right away at the beginning. But after Coach stands up, I'm okay with this rule break for Ozzy. Like, let's do it. I don't care.
It's a bad move,
Ozzy versus Coach,
but it is what we want to see happen.
And I feel like with a returner season, it's going to be a lot more forgiving, I think, socially, to be able to recover from being gone for what turns out to be an entire
very long time.
Versus, a cast of complete newbies. You have no idea who anyone is. I don't care who's standing up to do it. Don't volunteer. Returners, you'll recover.
We'll talk about this a little more later, I think.
But again, South Pacific might be the most underrated Survivor season, I think. So go watch it.
We are high on South Pacific on the Castaway Consultants. So people in general seem to be lower on that season, but we are very high on it from an entertainment standpoint, obviously, and also like the just desserts. Like that season really has a little bit of everything.
It's a great story.
It is. Oh, it truly is.
It makes people very uncomfortable, and that's fair, but it's a very great story. And then Q's gonna go as well. Q's here, guys. So over on Vatu, Stephanie and Colby are on a tribe together. They were both on the Heroes tribe in Heroes versus Villains, and they were actually in an alliance together. It didn't really go well for them. It was them and Tom Westman, and Stephanie and Tom got picked up pretty quick. But they did successfully take out Suri, so there's some interesting stuff there. But they got along. They're great. They're going to be an alliance. We're going to get what I think is probably the funniest moment of the episode. Colby can't stand Rizzo.
Oh, this was so funny just because Rizzo's being Rizzo. And, I have become a lot more fond of Rizzo over the course of 49, where it's like, I can't stand this guy. Riz God, RIZGOD, baby. Get him off of my screen. 3/4 of the way through 49, I'm like, you know what? This guy's okay. Like he's actually a pretty good Survivor player. He knows what's up, and I'm used to it enough where I'm not as annoyed. Now, let's put that into the mindset of people who have probably never watched him play this game, and now they're on the same tribe as him. They're probably thinking the exact same thing as we were at the beginning of 49. And that seems like what Kobe's doing right now.
Colby's kind of a good old boy from Texas, and I don't know if he's going to appreciate you calling yourself Riz God around camp. I just don't know. So tread cautiously if you're going to have a blasphemous nickname.
Right. And then, hitting some Fortnite emote whenever you do something, which he also hit a Fortnite emote in 49, if y'all don't remember. I'll just say, Josh said be getting annoyed with Rizzo. I was annoyed with him at the beginning of the premiere of 49, but by the end of the premiere of 49, I had already crossed that desert and I was pro Rizzo. I just want to say
Just like Colby.
this is a yes, yeah, a one episode arc.
Derek and Colby are the same person.
Yes, I am Colby.
Basically.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. Because Colby, I did not like Rizzo. He grew on me a lot. He is a good player, but the fact that he tried to give Colby advice, is hilarious. So at first, Colby can't stand Rizzo. Eventually, Colby grows to like Rizzo. It is kind of almost a paternal figure in the camp, which that's nice.
I don't know if Colby should want to be labeled as tribe dad. Never a good thing to be the parent of the tribe. This is a good relationship between the two.
Better than being the tribe mom, it seems like. The dad, and unless it's like the dad who's just kind of there for moral support, and not the dad who can actually play the game.
Yeah, you don't want to be the dad in terms of like bossing people around and telling people what to do around camp, but to be just like a paternal support figure. Rizzo seems like it. Rizzo Colby final two.
I mean, who says no?
Sure. Why not?
Riz no.
Hashtag Riz no. Hashtag Riz yes. Whatever the opposite is.
Over on Callow, I didn't catch how to pronounce it. Everyone is very psyched to have Jonathan on their tribe. And yes, he does have the best abs on the tribe. Guess who's got the second best? Mike White.
Surprise!
What?
I feel like that's the only thing he did to prep for this season. It's just like, you know what? I've got a lot of money. I'm going to hire a personal trainer. And what are we going to focus on? Only core. Let's go.
Turns out White Lotus is just his luchador name,
Mike's plan is to play the goofball and basically wants to try and lower his threat level and then take out people who stress him out. So I suspect, I wonder if Mike learned from David versus Goliath that he has no chance of winning, basically, unless, he would deal with maybe like Abby Maria and Q, perhaps. No one is really going to want to give a millionaire the money. So Mike seems to be here to be like, I'm just going to have a good time. I'm going to have an adventure, and I'm just going to be around for as long as I can and just enjoy it. And again, that's not what we try and coach for on this podcast, but I can't blame him because this is such a very weird situation.
I hope we're past that point where, I'm not going to give the athlete or the movie director or the oil tycoon $1 million. I would hope that they can separate that and be like, okay, the game is Survivor, especially for Survivor 50. We want to award the person who played the best game. And if that's Mike White, here you go, Mike White. Here's another $1 million. Go for it. But more importantly, here's the title of Sole Survivor. But I do think he's here for just a good time. He said it in so many different ways where it's like, I'm just here to have fun. I just want a front row seat to the action. It's like, shouldn't you want to also play the game instead of just watch it from the beach? But, you do you, Mike.
I'll just say very quickly, because we're going to see this later on in the episode, I think Mike White's best chance to win the game is for Mike White just to Mike White his way all the way to the end. He has to just be Mike Whiting around, and if he gets to the end and he's like, look, I came out here, had as much fun as I wanted to have, did what I wanted to do, nobody voted me out, and I'm sitting here with Chrissy and Q or Savannah, and I'm not even saying like they're not worthy of a win. It's just like, if he's just Mike White's around all the way to the end, I think that might be his best chance at winning. If he tries to like really buckle down and play a game of Survivor, I think he'll just get kicked out quickly.
You know who it kind of reminds me of a little bit of Keith Nail. And I'm not just saying that because we got some Keith Nail in the intro
rest in peace.
today.
Oh,
Fantastic intro, by the way. Elite intro.
elite.
But it's like, you kind of just have to Keith Nail your way to the end. You just have to Mike White your way to the end, and maybe it'll work out for you.
Mike, what do you think? I'm going fishing.
Give the man a glass of wine and let him be.
I am sad we don't have Keith Nail with a fishing rod and Mike White with a glass of wine. Just a glass of Pinot Noir.
Okay, over on Sela, no one knows what happened on 49, so we don't know how Savannah and Rizzo played. But Savannah is going to reveal, and it's only been 2 weeks since 49. Savannah reveals she's the winner of 49. She has to do it. Rizzo could blow up her spot like that, so she's got to be honest here.
Yeah, you've got no choice.
Jenna Lewis is going to hit the ground running and start throwing out Cerie's name. Haven't even been in an immunity challenge yet. We're just going, and we're going to see this did not work out for her. People are going to say her aggressive strategic gameplay is annoying from the get-go. So it seems Jen has learned nothing from All-Stars. So we're back. We're back, baby.
Who was the other person who did this from one of the other tribes? It was Chrissy, I think.
Chrissy did this too. Chrissy's going to do this about D on her tribe.
Yeah, because I was gonna say it's almost like they took Jeff's words a little too seriously about like, we want you to go like 100% the entire time. We want everything from you. It's like, all right, that means that we have to strategize from day one before we even lose a challenge. Let's go. And you're out of the game.
Yep. Don't listen to Jeff. Don't give him what he wants.
Yeah. Sometimes Survivor is a hurry up and wait kind of game. I think Jenna would have had more success waiting post immunity challenge, but yeah, she's running around already targeting the queen who does not call herself queen. Bold move.
On the journey, Ozzy and Coach, they're going to patch things up for now, for a few seconds. They want to try and work together. During the challenge, it's the one where you have to build a stick and get a key off a hook, bring it back, and then the first person to do it wins supplies for the tribe. This time, there's only one key between the three of them. So you could just snag it if you get, it's the person who gets it through the gate at the end. So Ozzy, it takes him like 45 minutes, does all the work to get it, and Coach snags it at the end. And Ozzy said like, hey, he was telling it to Q. Q was going for it. And Ozzy's like, Q, go for it. I'll be honorable and I will not take it from you. If you get it off the hook, you can have it. And Coach, cut to Coach confessional, he's like, I ain't saying anything. I never made a promise and I never gave my word. And so Coach snags the key when he gets the opportunity. So Coach wins it, which I was very happy about, by the way.
Hilarious.
So Ozzy's furious, but I gotta say, I mean, Coach didn't say anything about promise. He played by the rules. So that's bad on Ozzy, I think.
Ryan, I disagree wholeheartedly. Okay. And here's the thing, from an entertainment standpoint, yes. But the problem is that Coach 1.0, 2.0, and 3.0, pride wrapped up with honor is always a part of his game. And he's trying to now go, I guess Coach 4.0's move on day one is honor by omission. That's not like, it's okay in Survivor, but if Ozzy's throwing that out, Coach needs to say like, I'm sorry, brother, if you get that key off that hook, I'm going for it.
Okay.
This is season 40. I'm not just going to let you have it. Or this is not just season 50. I'm not just going to let you have it. The rules of the game say I should fight for it. I'm fighting to the bitter end. And then maybe that changes Ozzy's strategy and you figure it out. This was very much underhanded, and he either needs to own it and just accept that he's going to be seen that way, which he's not going to do, I imagine. Actually, we already saw he's not going to own it. This was the wrong thing to do if you wanted to make friends. You needed to be more upfront. As soon as the challenge became frustrating.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Let's just be honest here. This never was going to work out no matter what. Even if they would have been great during this journey, if there was a swap or a merge and they're both together, I feel like they wouldn't have actually been able to work together for whatever reason. It would have come tumbling down in the process. I will say though, I enjoyed a little bit too much watching how good Ozzy still was at these things. He said himself, like, And I think Coach did too. Like, this challenge was made for Ozzy. He climbs up a pole, he swims, like he digs around everything. He's just blowing Coach and Q out of the water during it. If they all had their own keys that they had to go for, and it was actually a reasonable, distance and stick size that they had to do for it, Ozzy would have destroyed this challenge, and it was fun. It was so fun to see him do it. I'm okay with the result, whatever. It was just so cool to see it.
Shout out to Q for being the funniest narrator. Oh, this guy might be better than I thought.
See, you might have enjoyed watching Ozzy. I enjoyed watching Coach just yoink it at the end.
And I enjoyed watching Q enjoy watching this whole thing. So everyone had a little something here.
It's like, oh, this guy's real. Like, this wasn't just a bit. Like, this guy actually is that guy.
So Ozzy can still do this stuff, but at the end he still goes, "Oh, my back."
That was
same.
Yeah. When he said that, I felt that. I'm like, oh.
So Coach gets to leave. Ozzy and Q have to stay for something else. Turns out it's Exile Island, baby. They have to stay on Exile Island overnight and can't go back to camp till the next day. Hilarious.
Ozzy's chuckle before the audience even knows what's going on. It's amazing.
I do wish they would have shown the reaction of everyone else, like the rest of the tribe, because they never ended up showing them. Just like, what? There's an Exile Island? What? These guys just didn't come back tonight?
Where the heck is Q and Ozzy?
They fell in love, I guess.
Are they ever coming back? Are they voted out? Like, you lose and you're out of the game.
Do or die.
So on Celia, whatever it is, Devins, Christian, and Emily are all going to form an alliance, and I love this trio.
This is the holy trinity of season 50, and it's not just because we interviewed Devins. I mean, we all talked about how Christian Hubicki was like a slam dunk returner.
Yeah.
I love Emily in this group. They might be like the perfect misfit alliance, and they all just happen to be on the same squad, like the same starting tribe. I love this trio.
When we talked to Devins in the interview, one of his regrets was, in hindsight, him and David should have gone with the Misfits instead of the cool kids. Maybe this is it,
Yeah, that was one of the lessons that he wants to take from 38. We always talk about, what messed you up in your first season? You're coming back as a returner, and how are you going to adjust for that? And Devins is like, let's just pick up the Misfits. Let's be lunatics together.
I hope it works. I love this trio.
I am dreaming of this being a final three. That would be beautiful.
And I will say, as we're not going to get this very often, so this is going to be a unique experience for us as consultants to talk through some of these things, because we have a starting tribe of 8 here. We've been used to, in the new era, tribes of 6 a lot of times, but even before that, maybe it's like 10. 8's a weird in between.
We haven't had 8 in a long time. I think seasons. Was it really Tocantins the last time we had a starting tribe of 8?
Yeah, how many were on fans' favorites too? Was 10? That 10 each?
Yeah, Tocantins was the last time we had a starting tribe of 8.
So like having 8 versus 6, you want to have a really tight duo in a smaller tribe like 6, but I like having it bumped up to 3 in a tribe of 8, and then being able to expand that out to get a majority of 5. It just feels like you have a lot more room to work with. And even if there's an accidental Matt Singh or a tribe swap that comes along, you just have a lot more to work with, it seems like.
Yeah. Colby and Kyle want to make an alliance, which is, that tracks. There's a lot of honor and integrity guys on this season. There's a lot of them.
2 on each tribe, to be precise, even if some of them are less honor and more integrity. I'm not sure what I mean by that, but
so they make an alliance and they bring in Stephanie and Genevieve. So they got a core 4. And Genevieve, she really wants to work on her social game this time. She thought that was a weakness last time. She wants to try better. She wants to talk to everybody. So she's going to talk to Aubrey, and Aubrey has seemingly regressed again. She gets worse with every season.
Didn't think it was possible.
Don't know what is going on here, but she is so closed off to Genevieve. It's wild.
Yeah, Aubrey 4.0 does not want to start a dialogue.
No.
That's and maybe it's just with Genevieve and they're trying to help flesh out an edit that's coming down the pike, but you can't be doing that with anybody.
Yeah.
Like you're on day 1 and you're already saying, like, I don't know what kind of game you're playing, Genevieve. Oh, hi to you too. Nice to meet you. Enjoyed seeing you on television. Weird, man.
It was really weird.
I'm gonna put more blame on Aubrey than on Genevieve, but I do want to say, like with Genevieve, she did say like, "Oh, I think that you're a dangerous player," and I think that could have been left out because it almost led it down this path. Aubrey accelerated it to a point that it didn't need to, but Genevieve could have chosen her wording, I think, a little bit differently to not even open it up to being like, "Oh, I think that you're a threat. Hey, we could still work together." It's like, it's tough.
I disagree, and you know what? I'm gonna read into this a little bit because Aubrey was sitting on the beach. Genevieve was standing up. Genevieve has approached Aubrey in this situation, which tells me like she's going to her. She's trying to have a conversation. Aubrey asks her, "What do you think of me?" I think Genevieve had the right read that like this is going to be more confrontational than it's going to be like friendly. So she's like, "I think you're a threat, but I want to work with you because of that." We're on season 50. We're all threats, you know? So like Aubrey put Genevieve in a lose-lose situation and soured that relationship from the get-go. And so I'm going to say like 95% on Aubrey. And maybe Genevieve can Hail Mary something, but I don't blame her at all. This is all on Aubrey. Almost all on Aubrey for me.
Back on Exile Island the next day, Ozzy and Q have to come to an agreement. One of them is going to get camp supplies. The other one is not. But the person who gets the camp supplies loses their vote. It goes to the other person, so they will have an extra vote. So they end up discussing it. Ozzy manages to convince Q to take the supplies, so Ozzy gets the extra vote. Both men feel like they got the better end of the deal. I could see why they would both think that. This is tough because generally, you'd think you would want the extra vote just to have the more hardware, but it is definitely something to be able to come back to camp with all the supplies and be like. And then you can paint a target on Q's back, for example. Say Q got the extra vote. So I can see the benefit either way.
For me, I actually think this was the best for both of them. Someone like Ozzy coming on with a big target on his back. It's the 5th time he's played. I think he understands. He even said, like, it's not about being a provider. I need actual, tangible game power with a bunch of game players playing a new game. I think that makes sense for him to have more ammo in his back pocket, and camp supplies mean nothing. Devins will basically confirm this. For Q, it's like, hey, I'm bringing back what I can. I set off to bring back supplies, and I brought it back. At least there's some good feelings there. There's no target on Q's back at all. So he loses his vote, but someone had to lose their vote. He can link up with Ozzy later, and that's something built. That's a bridge built for someone who's less of a name. So, in an 8-person tribe, you want every vote because 4v4 is important. But if someone had to lose their vote, I think better for it to be Q in this situation. So it sucks. I would want my vote if I was either of them, I think, but I'm not Q. I'm me.
So Q's going to come back to camp. He's going to lie and say there was a second challenge that he defeated Ozzy in to get the supplies. But he is going to tell Kyle one-on-one that he lost his vote. So Kyle knows. Not going to matter.
Does not matter.
Ozzy is going to come back, empty-handed, but he does have the extra vote. They don't have flint, so they can't make fire, except Christian, Jenna, and Ozzy work together using glasses to make fire, so they get it anyway.
Science!
Very, very Survivor Africa.
I like that Christian said that he's like, I've never actually done this before.
We're going to try it.
Or no, was it Kelly Wentworth's dad? Was it Dan?
Dale.
Oh,
Dale.
Dale.
I think Dale broke his glasses.
Yeah, Dale broke his glasses. That's who it was.
Yeah.
Devins is going to tell Suri that Jenna is gunning for her. So now Suri knows. Uh-oh. Suri knows she's being hunted. That's not... You don't want to be hunting Suri when she knows she's being hunted.
I like that he reveals this information. I know they haven't lost the challenge or anything yet, but especially in Survivor 50, you're early on. If someone is throwing out a name, let's just make it public knowledge. That way your name's not coming up.
If like he talks to Suri and gets along with her, especially then, this is Suri. Of course you're getting along with her. Whereas if you talk to Jenna and you don't vibe as much, oh, cool, this puts Jenna in a worse spot, and now you have a connection to Suri. And I can see Jenna getting on people's nerves. We have 2 whole seasons of evidence.
And one thing for Devins in particular, why I'm okay with Devins revealing this information as opposed to like a Christian or an Emily. Devin says that people are talking to him like he's the idol guy, and everyone kind of sees him as the idol guy, which is a really easy first vote, even if you aren't necessarily looking for idols. I mean, Tony 2.0 got voted out immediately for just like pretending to look for idols and then accidentally looking for idols.
Yellman and Micronesia.
Exactly. So for Devins to start a feud here between two really big names and be like, pay no attention to the man who's known for idols, to just buy him a little time to either find an idol or change his stars. So on all fronts, good job, Rick. I love this move.
Suri and Ozzy are going to get back on the same page. They settled their beef in Game Changers. I know we don't like talk about Game Changers, but they did settle it there, and they were aligned. Ozzy got blindsided not by Suri in that game. So last time they played together, they got along great. So they're back together here. I mean, Ozzy is going to tell Suri about the extra vote. Jonathan is going to have learned from his time in 42 that he needs to be more strategic and not just be the muscle. So he is going to bounce around and start making bonds and alliances. We see him in Mike. Then Coach and then Chrissy, and they all kind of agree that D should be the first to go because she's a winner and a crazy good one at that. Certainly the most threatening of the three winners on this season, I think.
I would agree.
Ooh, I don't know. I think Kyle was at the top of my list.
Well, it's gonna be wrong.
They're close. They are very close.
I think D. If D and Kyle captain season, I think D would massacre Kyle.
So I think that D had the more dominant win in her season, but as far as being a threat in 50, I think that Kyle was more of a threat just because I feel like D would have gotten more attention.
Okay.
And Kyle, and
Sure.
I think we saw that. I think we saw that partway through this episode where D was already getting attention and Kyle was making bonds. And it's like, yeah, Kyle's awesome. I want to work with him. He's, just so charismatic. So that's why I say it like that.
I think it's more because I agree with Josh. Kyle has a more repeatable game. So D being a strategic force and having a dominant win, though, is a good enough reason to target her early.
Josh, what you're saying, I think, is Kyle's got the best chance of winning of the three.
Yes.
I think D is the best player of the three.
And I'll just say this now, at this point in the episode, I was heavily considering Kyle as my winner pick.
I was too. I loved what he was doing.
D and Tiffany are going to bond, and the two of them and Camilla, the three of them, they decided to make an alliance. They want Chrissy out, especially Tiffany. Yeah, Chrissy just does not vibe with some people. We just covered Heroes versus Healers versus Hustlers in our Rewind series. Yeah, this tracks.
It tracks. I don't know why you would want to get rid of her, though. She's very predictable.
Hey, if you don't vibe with someone, that's a good enough reason to put somebody out.
Yeah. And that's why, like, a first vote, as long as it's unanimous, I'm generally okay with it. So if you can get everyone on board, take out Chrissy if she's messing up the vibe at camp.
Immunity challenge. Kyle is going to injure his ankle. Can't really put much weight on it, but still manages to complete the challenge. Medical is called in. They clear him to continue at the time. Stay tuned. It will not go well for him.
I don't want to brag on someone getting medically evacuated, but I called exactly what it was.
Yeah, 2 seconds afterward, he's like, that was an Achilles. And I was like, unfortunately, I've seen enough of those. I think he might be right.
I've watched enough sports and been sad in my day.
So Kayla wins, followed by Vatu. The Celia tribes go into tribal council, and it's Cerise's fault. She was on the monkey paw toss, monkey's fist, whatever it's called, and blew it. Cerise lost the challenge for him, which sucks.
And she was doing terrible.
Yeah. And yeah, I think people are gonna be like, well, why didn't she swap out? They must have had to assign roles ahead of time, and sometimes you're not allowed to swap out.
It seemed like they did that in both of these first two challenges. I think they really wanted to highlight everyone on the tribes. It's like, all right, like these are 1 and 2 person legs of the challenges, so that everyone can participate and everyone can have screen time. And
I like this. I like it when they aren't allowed to swap out because it makes it a little more balanced where you can't just have Jonathan do everything kind of thing. I really like that. It is a team effort. So I don't know. I'm more of a fan of that kind of challenge. Mm-hmm. Cerise's on the hot seat, but and Cerise can't do a whole lot because she's kind of alone. So Ozzy almost has to go to bat for her a little bit to try and push it back on Jenna. So it really becomes a debate between Cerise and Jenna. Cerise works the challenges and has a bond with Ozzy. That's a duo. That's a dangerous duo. People point out, like, Ozzy's really going to bat for her. That's dangerous. Maybe we should take one of them out. But then again, Jenna is talking a lot and strategizing a lot. Let's vote out Jenna. What? That's basically what it boils down to.
It's such an obvious, it's hard because it feels obvious as a viewer because we're getting more information. But all the cast members are also just dialed in on it and completely correct with the situation. They're like, Ozzy's being very obvious with who he's defending. And in the past, what we have seen is, oh, this person is defending them. They're obviously really close. We should probably split them up.
And everybody's on that wavelength except Christian. Christian really wants to keep Suri because he gets along with her. But everybody else seems to be like, Suri and Ozzy, that should be split up. Christian's going to get his way, which scares me a little bit. How much did he push? And was it worth the squeeze? I'm a little nervous about that. Because, yeah, Jenna's going to go home here. There's even suggestions that we take out Ozzy instead, which would have been hilarious. But yeah, splitting up Suri and Ozzy makes a ton of sense to me. Suri's not good in the challenges, but she's amazing at like every other aspect of the game. That's like the perfect first move here.
So I do have another theory about what went down here, and it talks about like, who's angling for who, because the edit gave a lot of focus that Ozzy is sort of going to bat for Suri and trying to keep her around. To a lesser extent, Christian Hubicki, but he very much plays it as like, hey, I just want consensus, right? We literally get that phrase twice. What we're forgetting is the X factor here for being on the island. We've all seen Savannah play. None of them have seen Savannah play, and she is angling for Suri to go home with Jenna because Jenna is a known capacity. The only winner on that tribe is Savannah, and they're probably thinking, we can defang her by not giving her what she wants today and force her to adapt to the game that we want to play. And also, Suri's dangerous, but we know her. Ozzy can be dangerous, but we know him. They don't know the winner that is Savannah. I'm not saying that's a good enough reason. I'm saying it's something that wasn't addressed, and I wanted to address it on the podcast and talk to you guys about it.
It's an interesting concept because I was also going to mention later on, Savannah has a lot to work through here, just because she revealed obviously that she's the winner of 49, which she should, but no one knows the style of her game. She doesn't know, like she said, she's withholding the information about her immunity wins or, how her alliances worked. And I think that everyone, we're very experienced players here. Everyone's returnees. We're legends of the game. Everyone's going to be so dialed in and focused on Savannah just to learn about how she plays and how she speaks. I'm specifically looking at how everyone is dialed in on every word she's saying at Tribal Council and the way that she talks through Tribal Council. So I would totally buy if they're focusing in on, okay, what does Savannah want to do? Maybe we should think about that. Maybe we should think an extra second about that. And, even if it doesn't make a whole lot of sense right now, if it's good to get Jenna out and good to get Suri out, maybe we just go against what Savannah wants.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I like that. You don't know who Savannah is, right? Big question mark. But Suri is the best player to never win. That is the known. So at Tribal Council, it's 7 votes for Jenna, 1 vote Suri. I really think this should have been Suri here. Like, yeah, keep an eye on Savannah for sure, but everyone else besides Christian also was saying, like, hey, it should probably be Suri.
Gosh. And one thing I'm going to say for Suri's defense, though, if you are a good player and you think you're a good player, we need players who believe in themselves. Suri will play with everyone, and if they're not getting that vibe from Jenna or Savannah, maybe you want to keep someone around who's willing to give you possibilities. And that's one of the reasons that Suri's game is so dangerous, is because she can play it with anybody on any season. And it's just like, will you have her as an ally or as a foe? The better player is going to get Suri, or Suri is going to get the better player, however it works.
But all of them should realize this is how Suri gets to the end. This is why she's so good. Jenna is right. I know she's annoying or whatever, but I still think this was the wrong move. I think it should have been Suri.
I agree. I think it should have been Suri.
Oh, I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna say that Jenna was the right move. It was a consensus vote, and I love a good consensus vote on the first one. And yeah, I'm gonna trust the cast, and also that they wanted to defang Savannah a little bit. So I'm okay with Jenna. I land on Jenna being the right move.
Okay.
We did run a poll.
Oh yes. What did the social media think?
The interwebs.
Yeah, so we did ask social media if the right person got voted out tonight as the first boot of Survivor 50. And we got a majority of about, if I add everything up in my head right now, I'd say about 70% said yes, that the right person went home. So sounds like they're siding with Derek here.
I mean, I don't like that the interwebs are siding with me because I don't think any of them thought about the savannah of it all. I think they just thought about how much they love Suri.
Yeah, that's literally they love Suri. For the record, I'm super happy Suri stayed in the game because that means she has more time to work her magic, and it's also hilarious that Jenna Lewis, the season 1 person, gets voted out first. That's really funny.
And when Suri said it best, like, Jenna, girl, I wasn't coming for you, man. Like, they should have worked together. Old school always does this.
Here's why. They all have these big egos because they're OG people. It's why Rupert and Stephanie couldn't get along. Like they have all of these old egos and animosities towards each other. Survivor then is different than Survivor now. Best and worst player of the episode. I'll start us off. My best player is Christian. He got in that core trio. He was the one who wanted this the most, got it to happen, got consensus to happen. So I'm going to give it to Christian. I'm a little worried. I hope he didn't push too hard. It doesn't seem like in the episode, but like I was reading between the lines a little bit, and that worries me for the future.
I landed on Christian for the same reason, but it's mostly because I also think that Jenna was the right move about the savannah of it all. But really, any of the three that are in that trio, I could have gone for. It's just that Christian was a little more vocal about wanting Jenna to go, and I'm like, I'm okay for jockeying that for that position right now a little bit on a season with names where you need to stand out a little bit. So I also had Christian. Honorable mention to Devins and Emily.
I also had Christian. Mostly, honestly, I didn't even think about the vote that much. It was mostly the fact that he had joined that trio together. Him and Devins kind of seemed like the ones that really pushed forward to get that together. He was the main person who got the fire going for his tribe as well. But I do want to give a very strong honorable mention. Was not expecting this to Kobe. Great on Colby, got an alliance going. It's not going to matter as much because one of them went home. But it seemed like he showed a lot of growth and, is in a good mindset for where he needs to be. I was very concerned about, I feel like we've seen enough Kobe. I don't think we're going to get anything new from him. I'm open. I'm open to seeing what Kobe's got here in Survivor 50.
I know Colby had stopped watching post All Stars for a long time, so he didn't know anybody going into Heroes versus Villains. But then he went to Rob Ciccinino did a live show in Texas, and Colby shows up, which was awesome, along with Burton and Reynold from Caramoan. And that was a really fun trio. Bring them all back. But Colby's like, yeah, I got back into it. I love Survivor. I'd love to play again because I'm actually paying attention to the strategy and stuff now. I was like, oh, really? Well, come on back, Colby. And then here we are.
Well, and let's talk about that for a second, just because on Heroes versus Villains and on All Stars, man, oh man, like I love Heroes versus Villains, but there were times on that season where it just looked like they were not having any fun.
Yeah.
One thing about modern Survivor that I think Jeff correctly points out is that there is more joy, there's more fun. It's not always what I would prefer to see, but for Colby to come back, this is kind of the environment. It's just like, hey, good-natured people coming back, and we're having an adventure. We're having an adventure. We're gonna duke it out and play this game, but there's not really that much ego involved in like modern Survivor, the way that it was like injected into the veins in old Survivor. So I think that might keep Colby energized for a deeper run into the game than what credit I gave him in our cast assessment. And good on Colby. Colby 4.0. Someone to watch.
Worst player, Derek, what do you got?
Oh, so I had Aubrey, and it's mostly because it looks like a fourth, or I guess a third consecutive regression. There's an argument for Chrissy. There's an argument for, Savannah not getting her way, but ultimately I'm just going to give it to the person who just, hey, how you doing? What do you think about me? Do you think I'm bad? Do you think I'm a threat? Like, I just can't do it. So I gave it to Aubrey.
I also had Aubrey. There also wasn't a ton of bad gameplay.
Agreed.
So, Aubrey, I think it was really just this one conversation, but it was noticeable. It was very noticeable. And if I would pick anyone on this cast to not have beef with, Genevieve might be one of those top people not to have beef with. So watch what you're doing and good luck.
Yeah, I don't know what Aubrey's doing at all. She's my worst. All right. Part two of this, so that first episode was like over 2 hours, and then this last one's like 40 minutes with commercial.
It was 2:15 because it was 9:15 when we
Okay.
came back from commercial.
Okay, so yeah, this is just an odd episode, but it is a separate episode with its own boot.
Technically,
It seems like Kyle's gonna be fine. He's slow, but he's moving.
This is when I knew he was doomed. Honestly, when they're like, I'm a man on the mend, I'm like, he's leaving. Oh.
I wasn't sure. I was wondering if this episode was gonna end with Mr. Beast showing up, and then we were gonna have a cliffhanger. And I'm like, well, at least we'll be getting Mr. Beast over and done with.
nope.
We're not starting beef with Mr. Beast here, but I don't want him on Survivor.
I'll start beef with Mr. Beast. I don't care.
Hey, that's some good publicity.
I don't know enough about Mr. Beast, and I don't know who Mr. Beast is, and at this point, I'm too afraid to ask.
Mr. Beast, I'll be on your show because you give away a lot of money.
That's
so
fair.
I'll do it.
Speaking of celebrities, Genevieve is going to find an idol with Stephanie. Stephanie's there, and Genevieve finds it. And Genevieve is going to share it with Kyle as well. She's going to read it. It is the Billie Eilish boomerang idol. Billie Eilish wrote the note. It's like, hey, I came up with this idea. Here's a boomerang idol. And I actually do like the boomerang idol. We didn't need Billie Eilish involved at all. So we can be done with this. Though I do like the idea of Colby being told about the Billie Eilish boomerang idol and him not knowing who that is. That makes me laugh. If that happened, I don't know if maybe Colby's a huge Billie Eilish fan. But I can just imagine be like, who? So like Billy Idol? Billy Joel?
I think Genevieve mentioned that she had to. Like, she's like, obviously I have to tell Colby, and if I tell him, obviously I have to tell whoever else she mentioned. But I don't think they actually showed her telling
Yeah, they
them.
didn't. But I love the idea of just him just not knowing who that is.
Billie Eilish, never heard of him.
So the boomerang idol, how this works is she has to give this to somebody on a different tribe. That person will have an idol. But if they get voted out with the idol in their pocket, it boomerangs back to Genevieve. Guys, thoughts on this advantage?
I like it. It's just kind of a beefed up legacy advantage, like with slightly different mechanics, because legacy is one thing where, you kind of will it to someone. This is like you gift it to someone and then you might get it back, but you can also use it as a bridge builder. I don't mind this at all. And it's funny, this always seems to happen, but we just covered season 35 where I talked about on the pre-merge specifically, there's a lot of advantages that do cross-pollinating on the tribes, and we don't see that a lot anymore. And then the first episode of season 50, they have an advantage that cross-pollinates on the tribes. And I was like, I like these. I like this. It makes for a very interesting choice. It's a powerful one. I don't love that we have another dynamic advantage, another like dynamic idol, but on its own, without the context that we have dynamic advantages on the season, I think this is a really cool take on the idol. So if it was Billie Eilish who thought of it or whoever thought of it, good on you. I like it.
Yeah, I actually really like it. When you vote for something, it's like, oh, no idols or strategic advantages, however it was worded, or dynamic advantages. This is what I think of when it comes to dynamic advantages. It's a step closer to being gimmicky without actually being gimmicky, where Genevieve or whoever finds it, there's a lot of strategy behind what you do with it. Who you think might be in trouble if that's the direction that you want to take and maybe get idol out of it, or someone who you think that you would, vibe with later on, you can build an alliance with. And you have options still about what direction you want to take after you find the idol, and how you want to approach it with that person. So I think it just opens up a lot of options for that player to do whatever they want with it. They're not tied to anything. It's not a disadvantage. It's not even close to a disadvantage, which is great. So I really like just the mechanics of this idol.
And Genevieve's going to give it to Ozzy. And Derek, you summed up nicely why you thought this was a great idea while we were watching.
Right. So one, I think it's great because Ozzy, big target on his tribe. They might just vote him out. But if they do that, obviously she gets the idol back. But then again, you can use that as a bridge building tool if ever you get to work with Ozzy. And Ozzy is one of those guys who would take that as a genuine bridge building opportunity. Like, thank you for doing this. I will work with you. I will be, I don't want to say like loyal, but like we can do something with this partnership. So I think that's like kind of the best thing. And all the other part is that it infuses a bit of chaos onto that tribe again, because Ozzy is a big name and a big target. So you're kind of maximizing all of the return by picking somebody like Ozzy. Ozzy's even better a choice than like Coach or Suri or some of the other old school players that might appreciate the latter half of that. But I thought Ozzy was perfect.
And even though you might think he learned because he got voted out with an idol in his pocket before, I don't know if Ozzy did. I could definitely see him get voting out with an idol in his pocket again. But yeah, he's gonna get it. He can't give it away. He can't play it on somebody else.
Lesson for future players: if you get an idol with stipulations like that, it might be the boomerang idol.
Could be. We're gonna have another journey. One person from each tribe's got to go. It can't be someone who's already been. So Mike and Savannah on their respective tribes, they're both gonna win a game like rock paper scissors or whatever to go. So Mike and Savannah both volunteered and then won a game to go. Nobody on Vatu wanted to go, so Colby's like, fine, I'll go. And I think it's just because he wanted to go on the adventure. Mike clearly just wanted to go on the adventure. Colby's like, hey, let's go somewhere. Let's have some fun. But again, bad idea. Don't go on this.
If you want to win Survivor, don't do this. Mike White is just Mike Whiting around, so I love that he went. I don't mind that Colby went because, again, he's just looking for an adventure. It's not how to win Survivor. Savannah probably shouldn't have gone unless she knows that she got defanged with the Jenna vote out and she's on the bottom. Then maybe she should go. So it depends on where Savannah thinks she's at on her tribe.
I suppose.
Q only told Kyle, right, about him losing a vote?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say, because if he told Colby, then I would say, like, do not go. You can't risk losing 2 votes.
I thought about this. We cannot yell at Colby for not being able to do math. And you know how much I love to do that on this podcast.
So they talk, and the whole situation between Ozzy and Coach gets brought up, which will come into play later. They have to do a rock draw because only 2 of these people get to play. Mike loses. He's got to go back, and he's going to fill in his tribe. And like, oh, yeah, Ozzy's pissed at you, Coach. And that's going to open a can of worms next time on Survivor.
It's interesting. So I'm like, Ryan, you kind of glossed over that really fast, but this might torpedo Coach's game.
It could.
And I'm wondering, should Mike have pulled Coach aside, or was it better to call him out in front of everybody? I don't know.
I know. Mike told the truth of what happened on the journey. And especially because he didn't get to do anything, he has to do that. Because he's like, I just got sent home. People won't be suspicious of him. Well, let's add some fuel to this fire that isn't on me. There's just attention around Coach now, and he probably didn't expect it to blow up that much. And Coach should be so upset about it. But no, absolutely, he needed to do this.
Like, share something from the journey.
Yes.
I guess I can see it, but also it's like, it's Mike White. He might have been able to get away with saying, like, look, guys, they just didn't let me participate. So, I don't know. I don't know that he would have been that hurt.
I'm not saying he would have been that hurt. I'm saying it was the right move, though.
Sure. But either way, it is interesting if you're Coach and you hear this information. This is where, like, what have you already told them? I think maybe he should have owned his game right away. Like, yeah, I'm going to be honest. I maybe played that a little underhanded, but I did it because I really wanted to get tribe supplies. And people would have been like, all right, Coach, coming to play on 50.
I think the only person who's going to care is Ozzy.
That might be the case until Coach freaks out about it. We saw it next time on Survivor. So, Coach, pride will be the fall of man. You know this. Don't be prideful.
Well, and I think out of anyone, Coach truly believes that, like, he did nothing wrong, which I would agree. Like, he didn't agree to anything that Ozzy said. Like, in Coach's head, he did not agree to that. So he gave them the information based off of his experience, which was accurate. And now there's more information coming up. He's like, in his mind, it's like, yeah, like Ozzy was saying these things. I didn't agree to any of them. So I think he's just going through this entire processing of the situation. Is like, oh crap, like, are people going to think about me a different way? Is Ozzy going to be like bad mouthing me? So I think Coach is just going through his own thing right now.
Coach is going through it.
One piece of advice for Coach or anybody like Coach here. He seems like a very introspective guy, right? Well, sometimes you need to be a little extrospective and put yourself in somebody else's shoes, because that's what Survivor is, how people perceive you, not about the truth necessarily, and not about how you see yourself.
Right.
And that was the point I was trying to make when I said I didn't like the fact that he didn't say, Ozzy, if you get that key, I'm going for it.
But Colby and Savannah, they're going to play in basically a game of Jenga. Savannah wins, and they were told ahead of time, you either lose your vote or you keep your vote. And so Colby loses his vote and he leaves. Savannah stays, and she learns secretly that she actually gets a vote blocker for winning. And then that dynamic advantages were the thing that won. So she's the other person who knows that.
Reward in the form of information.
So Colby tells the truth when he gets back to camp. So now, he and Q don't have votes. Their alliance is in trouble. On Celia, Savannah's going to tell her tribe that she kept her vote, Colby lost his, and she walks away. And Devins is like, oh yeah, she's got something.
Hilarious.
So everyone is suspicious of Savannah now. Fair.
Very fair.
The episode is going to end sadly on the Vatu tribe. Jeff and Medical arrive to check on Kyle. They're pretty sure his Achilles is torn. And risks permanent damage to it by staying in the game. So Kyle is going to get pulled, and we lose our second person from Survivor 50. That sucks.
You could tell that they definitely didn't want to do this. I mean, obviously they didn't want to do this, but they even brought they gave him an ultrasound on the beach. No chance if this was anywhere outside of 50. If we go back 10 seasons, 10 seasons would have been Winners at War, but if we would have gone back to just a newbie season, they would have been like, we're pretty sure it's torn, we're feeling around, we got to pull you for an MRI, basically. We can't do it here. They wanted so badly for the test to come back and be like, oh my gosh, you're actually going to be okay as long as you just don't put that much weight on it and recover. Sadly, that was not the case.
Yeah, it sucks. Hopefully Kyle will get a third chance one of these days.
I'm about it. I'm all about it.
But hey, you can go home and do the Woody Harrelson Zombieland gift, cry into his money.
Right. We love you, Kyle.
Yeah, tough break.
Hopefully the 50s are riddled with returner seasons.
Let's not say riddled, but let's,
I'm okay with it. We've been lacking in returner season, so let's go. I don't care.
Let's do once every 5.
Every 3. Kyle Camilla captain season.
Look, they get out of hand sometimes. I mean, remember Redemption Island and then Karamoan? It wasn't the best time.
Edge of Extinction. What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah.
Or Island of the Idols. Different kind of returner season, but
that had nothing to do with the returners. Surprisingly,
they're the best part.
All right, this is a second episode. We the first episode ends after Tribal Council.
I want to know the total runtime of episode 2.
Doesn't matter, because we've also had in the past 15-minute episodes when back in the day, we have 2 people who are going home tonight, but it's still just a regular 40-minute hour with commercials episode. So it's about the same as one of those. Episode 1 ends with the Tribal Council. Someone gets voted out. So now we're on episode 2. Okay, someone got medically evacuated. We end the episode here. Now, this is going to obviously continue on next time, and we'll have a Tribal Council. But that's separated by a week now. So this is its own episode. This is a 2-part episode. Josh is trying to fight me on this. So we are doing 2 bests, and we are doing 2 worst, because these are 2 separate episodes.
I'm not fighting you on it.
You were trying to.
No. I'm not fighting you on it. I fully accept that it is 2 episodes. I think it's just the most sorry excuse for an episode known to mankind, because I was actually thinking in my head during the first 2 hours of the premiere tonight, wow, there's a pretty big gaps in commercial breaks here, and the commercial breaks seem pretty short. And then we get to the second hour, and not even the second hour, after 9:15 p.m. Central Time, and we would have a commercial every 10 minutes, and the commercials would be 5 minutes long. I think we had 20 minutes of total runtime in the second episode, and that includes Kyle being medically evacuated.
Maybe, but that's happened before. So, best player of the second episode, Josh, who do you have?
It's Genevieve, because there's no other option.
Yeah. I mean,
what a great conversation for such a great episode.
Yeah, it's Genevieve. I think she just handled the Boomerang Idol stuff very well.
I also had Genevieve, but I also said, hey, Colby might have accidentally just indirectly nuked Coach's game, and that's kind of hilarious. I don't think he did it on purpose, and I don't think he should have gone on the journey, but it's still funny to talk about.
Well, on that note, I'm going to give my worst player to Colby, because, I don't think he should have gone on the journey. I don't think any of them should have gone on the journey. Mike at least intentionally put attention away from himself on to Coach. Savannah, she at least won the advantage. Colby lost the advantage. He did volunteer, though reluctantly, but he did. So because he didn't get any positives out of it, I'm gonna give it to Colby. It's negligible, but we gotta give it to somebody.
So, well, to me, I gave it to Coach because of his reaction to the news and the fact that he felt the need to get up and justify it. And like, I'm gonna quote Martin Luther King now. It's how you respond to the adversity. Like, dude, like, no, your reaction is proving that there's something there. So I'm giving it to Coach because of his reaction to the news that Mike White broke to him.
I'm not giving out a worst player.
Okay, it's fine.
I get it.
All right, well that wraps up the main stuff for these 2 episodes. So the next thing we gotta get into do is predict who is going next in this madhouse. So Derek, why don't you start us off? Take us over to Celia or whatever the heck it's called, the Orange Tribe. Who's going next in that group?
There's no second I in it. It's not Celia. It's either
Sela.
Scylla or Sela, one of the two.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, over on the Sela tribe, I'm going to say that it's going to be Savannah. I know she has a block of vote, but I actually think there's a fairly large cohort that's okay with just cutting out the X factor. She won before. We don't know her game. Jenna's gone. Let's just get rid of her. So I've got Savannah.
I could see that. We've kind of been getting an anti-winner, sentiment going on as well. It started with D a little bit. Kyle's out of the game. We didn't even get to talk about any like anti-Kyle stuff, but it probably could have happened. And so I would not be surprised if Savannah would come around with that as well. I'm gonna go with Ozzy here though, just because I think it would be funny. And I think they should probably break up Suri and Ozzy. So like I don't think Savannah has a whole lot of power right now. So sure you could take her out, but I think you could take her out after you break up that duo.
Derek, I hope you're right. I would like to see Savannah go probably the most from this group, but I'm gonna go Suri. Sadly, I think someone's got to get wise eventually, right?
No.
No, they don't have to.
I suppose. All right, let's go over to Kalo, whatever. I'll learn these tribe names next time when they say them more often.
Yeah. No, we
Hey,
get it.
we know Vatu.
But yeah, that one's easy. Josh, who's going? This is green.
Ooh, this is tricky. I went with Chrissy here. I think that she's gonna have a whole, Jenna Lewis of it all, and maybe talking a little bit too early. I have a feeling that they're not gonna be going to tribal, but if they do, I could definitely see Chrissy going home.
I think it's possible. I think it's more likely that unfortunately this blows up in D, Tiffany, and Camilla's face. I'm gonna say D goes.
I also had D for that reason. I know that those 3 wanted Chrissy to go, but I think the other 4 are like, yeah, Chrissy's obnoxious, but she's not going to destroy us in Survivor. You can't destroy someone with how obnoxious you are. Even
Abby Maria can do it.
yeah, but I mean, even Boston Rob brought Philip to the end. Like you can use Chrissy if she turns into like a pawn in this game. So I've got D.
It's going to really come down to Mike and Charlie, I think, because I mean, we already saw that Coach and Jonathan seemed to be together, and Chrissy, I think, was with them. So it's almost 3v3.
And then
All right,
we did
now
see
where are the other two
Jonathan.
going?
We did see Jonathan and Mike talking too, so I could see everyone going. I could see being 5-3 against D. Over on Vatu, I'm just gonna say Aubrey because I kind of hope it's Aubrey.
I also had Aubrey. And when you look at what happens after Kyle leaves that tribe, I understand that there are a couple missing votes out there, but the fact that Aubrey was being standoffish with Genevieve, I'm wondering if she was doing that with other people. We didn't get to see much outside of Kyle's injury. So until I see more, I'm going to go with the person who was standoffish, and that's Aubrey.
It's going to be weird. It's going to be really weird with the missing votes now and Kyle being gone, because they no longer, this kind of like 4/5 something that they kind of had. I don't know if they are gonna have the majority just outright, just on the surface. I'm gonna go with Aubrey, but it's gonna be very interesting if they lose.
By the way, my thing is like, I know that group of 5 only has 2 votes now because Kyle left.
Yep.
But I don't think Aubrey has anyone.
Yeah, and who are the other 2 people? They can get Rizzo. Colby can give it to Rizzo. I
Rizzo
think.
and
Angelina and
Stephanie.
Rizzo.
No, Stephanie was already in that group.
Oh, Angelina.
Okay, so yeah, we just where does Angelina end up, which is a big question mark. All right, let's get into who can't win this game, which is always interesting with the returning players. Where's this gonna go? Yeah, Derek, start us off. Who can't win this game?
I'm gonna pick the low hanging fruit. It's Aubrey. You've regressed now, seemingly in 3 seasons consecutive to your first one. until you show me more. Spoiler alert, I did not stick any forks in this episode. There are some people I am thinking about, but right now Aubrey can't win.
It's hard with the returner seasons.
Hmm.
With some some returner seasons.
That's why I'm not gonna fork
So,
anyone.
we've covered returner seasons where it's like, yeah, this person, none of them can win. I am going to give Aubrey a chance still. She's not giving us much reason to give her a chance, but I'm going to lean a little bit more heavily on just the totality of their previous games, and Aubrey has at least shown the capability of doing it.
I know where this is going.
So I'm going to go with Jonathan here.
Oh, I thought
I
Q
don't,
was
I don't
coming.
think I don't think Jonathan has a shot to win. He's that type of guy who is like, actually, it almost reminds me of like Ozzy, his like second or third or whatever time, where it's like, I'm going to be more strategic this time. And he starts off being more strategic. And then, after a couple of episodes, he, it's just back to being Jonathan. So I don't think Jonathan really is going to have a chance to win this game.
Okay.
That genuinely shocked. I'm shocked that you said that.
To me, that is actually a fairly hot take.
Yeah.
But I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it.
I'm going with Aubrey.
Cool. Josh, I like your take.
Okay. Wow.
Okay. Okay. If Aubrey's off the table, who can't win the game?
Q.
See,
I say Q because he threatened to quit 3 times.
I understand that, but I was very down on Q in our Survivor 50 just cast assessment. I kind of liked him this episode, I gotta say.
We liked Q in episode 1 of 46 also. It was when he started fake quitting 4 episodes in.
Yeah.
Sure. Like
everyone's flawed.
Give the man some time to prove that he's changed or he hasn't. But as of right now, everyone on that season remembers that he threatened to quit every 5 seconds.
I would say Q is a good pick. The other one, maybe Chrissy.
Chrissy is also down there. Yeah.
But we're not there yet.
We're not there yet.
Now, this is going to be crazy. Let's get into the Survivor pool. This is going to be fun. We have, obviously we're down to 22 now, but there's a ton of people this season. This could go a bunch of different ways. I think this is going to be a really exciting season for the Survivor pool, and it's already exciting. So Josh, kick us off. Who is your pick for the Survivor pool?
Yeah. And before we move on, listeners, we're having you in again on this. We had a record turnout last season. Thank you very much for participating. If you want to be part of the Survivor pool, submit your answers on social media. We have people submitting through DMs, Spotify comments, YouTube comments, like really anywhere that you can. I will try to keep track of them, mark them down, and see who the sole survivor is for all of our listeners, and if anyone can beat us. So please do that. It was super fun last time. As for this season, oh gosh, and as might I say, reigning champ between the 3 of us, gotta say that. I'm going to make a little bit of a bold one just because I feel like I need to take a swing off of my recent victory from last season. And although this person very much could be going home next week, I'm going to bet on her tribe not going to tribal council. And that is D.
Okay.
All right.
I can see it. I'm going to go with somebody who I don't think is going to do great, but I don't think is going next. And that's Angelina.
I did the same thought process as Ryan, but landed somewhere completely differently. I'm picking Joe Hunter.
Okay. Okay.
All right. I like those.
Yeah, bring in your picks. Let's see if you can beat us. Somebody did last time, but most importantly, hopefully I win.
Yes.
We always hope Ryan wins.
Yeah, one last shout out before we go on to Dawson from last season. They beat us.
Do it again. All right. Now for the big one. Last thing we got to do is call our shots. It is winner pick time. I'll go first. I've thought long and hard about this. I had lots of different ideas about where I could go with this, but my final answer, the winner of Survivor 50 is Emily Flippin.
Oh, wow. Okay.
All right. Well, I'll just go ahead and jump right into mine. I said I'm going to do the Ryan thing. Whenever there's a Ryan on a season, Ryan always picks the Ryan. Going into this episode, I said I'm picking Devins unless he gives me a reason not to. The guy came and talked to us on our podcast. I want to be personally invested in this season. I am doing no editology. I'm doing no game theory. Devins is my winner pick. And you know what? He gave me no reason not to pick him. Thank you again, friend of the podcast, Rick Devins.
I just want to say quick, in my heart, I really want Rick Devins to win. Thank you, Get, for appearing on the podcast. I just think he is such a big target on his back. That's the only reason I didn't pick him.
He is on. I actually had. So I will recap my kind of finalists from each tribe from Sela. I did have both Devins and Emily as the two people who I think are at the top of Sela as far as winner picks. From Vatu, I actually had Rizzo. I think Rizzo's going to do really well, and Rizzo is a threat to win this game, which would be crazy if he won Survivor 50. But I'm going with someone from Kalo, one of those, however you pronounce it. I'm going with my girl, my girl Camilla. And I had her for the long run in, most of the long run in her original season. She was not my original winner pick, but she was my second pick. And I really, really liked her game the first time around. Really wish she would have been able to make it all the way to the end. Now that her shackles are broken from Kyle being out of the game in tragic fashion, I think she is free to play a brand new game this time around. And I do think that there is some danger for her right away at the beginning with their trio. And whether or not they can skirt around D potentially going home. But I think that she is very capable of being able to pull it out.
Okay. Well, we'll see how we go.
That's kind of like a standard game theory, like you with Emily and him with Camilla, kind of like the lower target, like lesser thought about, not a huge threat on their season.
Yeah.
Very standard returner picks on that one. So respect to you guys. And if I was doing more game theory, I'd probably land on one of them. But I'm picking from the heart.
Editology, there was a lot of visibility to big threats, it seemed like, in the premiere. And I just want to stay away from all of those people.
As you should in an all-star season. Not every season's going to end with Tony winning for all-stars.
You mean it's not going to be Colby or Genevieve?
Look, it could be. It could be. But, maybe don't bet on it. All right, guys, this is an exciting premiere. I'm excited to see what happens next. I'm excited to get past Mr. Beast and move on from whatever that nonsense is going to be. Hopefully, it'll be more fun than cringe.
Yes.
Guys, do we have any questions?
So we did have a mention from Sophie on Blue Sky. First of all, they said, it feels like Jeff stuffed the ballots for the hands of the fans. Agreed. But also, please help me explain to my friend, who's a Survivor casual, how Suri wasn't voted out. Thank you in advance.
Just tell her Suri is the best to never win. That's it. She's just good. There may be more to it than that we weren't shown. Jenna is probably very, very annoying. Again, we have 2 full seasons of Survivor that tell us that, but Suri is the best to never win.
If people like you and they think they can work with you, they're going to keep you around.
Yep. It's that. Yeah. All right, guys, let's wrap this up. Social media.
The only thing I'm going to add beyond the obvious Survivor pool picks, do your winner picks, obviously, in Spotify comments or anywhere on the interwebs. But I'm also going to shout out to go back and listen to the interview we got to do with Rick Devins, just because we were having a blast. It was surreal for us that we actually got a Survivor player. So one last time, thank you, Rick, for doing that. But other than that, just, engage with us in the comments and on the interwebs, and we will make sure we engage back with you.
And if you haven't already, we skipped over a lot of the early, talk about cast members and their original seasons and all that stuff. So if you haven't already, we did do a Survivor 50 cast assessment podcast. It's just a few episodes ago. So if you really want to know what our deep dives into each player is, go back and listen to that as well.
It's more than a few episodes ago. It was before 49. So you got to scroll back before 49. That was almost a year ago.
Good job clarifying, because I actually was thinking about it after 49.
Yeah. So that was between 48, 49 during our rewind.
Yeah, it's labeled a bonus episode.
Yeah. Okay, guys, anything else?
Until next time.
All right. Well, we'll keep on rolling with Survivor 50. In the meantime, this has been the Castaway Consultants.
Got nothing else for you.
Good night.